Welcome to Math 155, integrated review for 1.5. So in this section, we're going to talk about translating English and algebraic expression and additional application problems. So this video, we're going to use our linear equation, okay, to help solving for application. So what we're going to do mainly is learn how to translate these words, okay, into algebraic expressions, okay. In other and if we run into it, we will solve some of these as well. So words that translate into addition, I'm going to highlight the popular ones for you real quick. Words that translate into addition, the word sum, okay, means addition. The word sum also means the answer we get after we add. More than is very, very popular, okay. Increase by. Anything sounds like more than, like longer than, older than, okay, those also translate into addition. So when you see these words, you just simply write down an addition sign. All right. Subtraction sign, the word difference, work just like the word sum. The word difference means subtraction sign. The word difference also means the answer we get after we subtract it. All right. Subtract from, less than, okay. All has the same kind of translation. These two words, I'm going to put a blue star beside it, will require us to translate backwards. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let me show you. If we simply say 7 subtract 5, 7 subtract 5 is exactly like exactly what you think it is. 7 minus 5. Now, when you see 7, you write 7, but when you see subtracted from, okay, you remember that word need to be translated backwards. Backwards means normally we put the subtraction sign behind what we just wrote. Backwards means now we will put in front of it. 7 is subtracted from somebody that's up front. From what? From 5. Okay, so this problem becomes, this answer becomes 5 minus 7 instead of 7 minus 5. All right, when you see 7, you write 7. When you see less than, again, that word will also be translated backwards. So that means we will put the subtraction sign in front of what we wrote. Okay, so now whatever come after the word less than will all go in front of the subtraction sign. 7 is less than who? 7 is short from who? From 5. All right, now let's take a look at this one, the difference. All right, when you see the word difference, okay, you write subtraction sign. But once you write down a subtraction sign first, there got to be somebody go in front, somebody go behind the subtraction sign. It's a subtraction between who? Tells me right away 7. So 7 come first, 7 go in front. It's a subtraction between 7 and somebody else, 7 and the 5. So the difference between 7 and 5 is exactly what you think it is. 7 minus 5. If they want me to put, if the problem want me to have 5 in the front, 7 on the back, then you will say the difference between 5 and 7 instead. All right. Words that will translate into multiplication. The word product, word just like the word difference and sum. Product means multiplication sign. Product also means the answer we get after we multiply. Times, believe it or not, we use the word times a lot. Okay, twice, okay, or twice as much. Double also means, they all mean 2 times something. Okay, put a 2 in front of it. It all means 2 times something. Now, the word of, I'm going to put in a quotation mark. The word of sometimes means multiplication, sometimes means the word of. So the word of means multiplication when we are dealing with percent type of problems, and when we use the word of along with a fraction, like a third of, something like that. A third of means 1/3 times something, okay? Half of, 2/3 of, okay? So that's when the word of means multiplication, when it's using it with, when it's attached with a fraction wording. All right, we don't translate much for division, other than, so normally the word divide and the quotient means division. From time to time, we will need to translate for equal signs. The word is means equal sign. The word equal to or is the same as will also translate into equal sign. So the way we translate equal sign, other than these words, is really go by the context of the word problems. Okay, go by the context of the word problem. So let's practice. Okay, let's practice recognizing these words with these type of examples here. So translate the following phrase into algebraic expression. Do not simplify. Use the variable name x over y. So we are not going to solve for anything. We're just going to translate exactly what it says. So the way we translate, one word at a time, okay? 5, I write 5. Times, I write times. The next word I translate is the word sum. So when you see the word sum, you got to write a plus sign. When you write down an addition sign, there got to be somebody go in front of it, somebody go behind it. It's 5 times the sum of 1 and a number. I don't know what the number is, so that will be x. All right. So this problem is basically saying 5 times 1 plus x. Well, not really, right? This problem does not say 5 times 1. This problem says 5 times the sum. So that means 5 need to times the entire sum of 1 and x. That's the reason why 1 plus x got to be in the parenthesis. Okay? Without it, it actually means only 5 times 1. But the problem says 5 times the entire sum. So that's why they got to be in the parenthesis. All right. Translate word by word. 2 minus a number x. So that's very straightforward. 2 minus x. All right. Let's try this. Okay. Translate the following phrase into algebraic expression. Do not simplify. All right. The sum. Sum is the first word. So I write addition sign. So when I write down the addition sign first, there got to be somebody go in front of it and go behind it. So the plus sign also separate between two terms. It's a sum of 5 y. Oh, there's another term right here, and x. So that means it's actually what? 2 of these plus signs. So I can have 3 terms. So it's a sum of 5, y, and x. So this problem is basically saying 5 plus y plus x. Okay, it's a sum of all 3 of them. All right, y, multiply by who? The product. The product is another multiplication. So there got to be somebody go in front of the multiplication sign, somebody go behind it. Is y multiply the product, the multiplication of 6 and x. So if you say this problem is simply y times 6 times x, that's actually not what it says. What it says is y multiply the entire product of what? 6 and x. So it's really y times parentheses 6 times x. Okay, that's actually the answer. Okay, tricky how we read them. All right, when I see 2, I write 2. When I see the word less than, I write subtraction sign not behind what I just wrote, but in front of it, because less than is backwards. Less than who? The sum again, so that's another addition sign in front of that subtraction. So when I wrote down a plus sign, there's got to be somebody go in front and behind. Is 2 less than the addition of who? X and y. All right, so does the problem says x plus y minus 2? Well, that looked like y subtract 2, okay? But the problem is actually saying 2 is going to get subtracted by the entire sum of x and y. So that's why x and y got to be in the parenthesis, okay? So a little bit tricky using the parenthesis, but it kind of makes sense. 2 does not get subtracted from y. 2 gets subtracted from the entire sum of x and y. All right. Now, again, these problems using x for variable do not simplify. So these are basically a piece of an actual word problem I'm going to show you in the next video. So there's a way to read this, okay? So let me show you how to read this. The cost of X textbook. So this few words right here is what my final answer will represent, which is cost of X books. If one book costs $141, okay, one book is $141. I need to find out the cost of X number of books. So $141 for one book. For two books, we will say times by two. For three books, we will say times by three. For X number of books, we say times X. So that will be 141X. So this answer representing the cost of X number of books. Okay, that's how we actually translate that. All right, let's try a similar one. The cost of X pounds of ground turkey. All right, so my answer need to representing buying X pound of ground turkey. So it says $5.40 a pound, and I'm buying X number of pounds, so that means times X. Because of 540 representing for 1 pound. Buying 10 pounds, we will times by 10, for example, if that's what X represent. All right. So the cost of X pounds at $5.40 for 1 pound times what? X number of pound I'm buying. So this whole answer representing the total cost of X pounds. All right. Now this is a little bit tricky. Got to be very careful. The number of minutes. So my answer need to representing minutes in H hours and 12 minutes. H hour and 12 minutes. So think about this. If H is 3 hours, 3 hours and 12 minutes, the way how we figure is take 3 times 60 minutes for 1 hour, and then plus an additional 12 minutes. All right. So the number of minutes in H hour. So if I replace my H with, if I replace my 3 with an H, that will be H times 60, right? That will tell me how many minutes for those H hours, plus another 12 minutes. All right, so H times 60 plus 12, I can basically say that's 60 minutes per hour times H number hours plus 12 more minutes. So that will be my answer. So both of these terms representing minutes, which is what the problem wants. All right, now let's take a look at this. The cost of renting a car for 1 day and driving so many miles. Okay. So my answer need to representing the cost of renting a car. All right. If the rate is $39 a day, so $39 a day, I got to pay that plus 45 cents for 1 mile. All right. Now remember, now take a look at this. $39, that's a dollar sign. 45 is cents. So if I translate 45 cents into dollar, that will be $0.45, right? So 45 cents for 1 mile, and I'm driving how many miles? M number of miles, so I times by M. Because if I would drive 100 miles, that would be 45 cents times 100. So if I'm driving M miles, that means it's times by M. So both of these terms together representing the cost of renting a car in 1 day. $39 plus 45 cents times M number of miles I'm going to drive. All right. Now, these last two is interesting, okay, because these last two is a very particular type of problem. If you look at this perimeter of a rectangle, this is just like, it's very similar to the one we did in the last video. So let me show you how to translate this. This is what I so-called the comparison problem. My answer is representing the cost of purchasing a football helmet and a jersey, okay? Cost of purchasing helmet and jersey. It says if the helmet costs $3 more than twice the cost of a jersey. So when you see this word more than in your phrase or sentence, okay, that means That's one of my translation word. So I will need to translate for the items. Who is more than who? Who am I comparing here? I'm actually trying to compare between helmet and the jersey. All right, so when I'm comparing between two different items, I'm gonna let the item listed at the end of my translating phrase to be X. All right, let's go back translate for the helmet. The helmet cost $3, $3. More than means plus. Twice means two times something. Two times who? Two times the jersey, which I already say is X. Okay, so helmet is 3 plus 2X. Jersey is going to be X. But my problem need to tell, but my answer need to representing the cost of purchasing football helmet and jersey. So that means my helmet, whatever the price of the helmet is, plus the price of the jersey. All right, so we just translated jersey to be X. I'm going to put this plus sign in red to indicating this red plus sign is the cost, the total cost between helmet and jersey. And what do I translate for the helmet? 3 plus what? 2X. There you go. You don't have to simplify, I don't think. So this right here representing the total cost of helmet plus the jersey. All right. If the homework problem asks you to simplify, you can just say combined like term. That will give you 3x plus 3. Otherwise, you can just write them out like this. All right. This is another similar comparison problem. The perimeter of a rectangle. So my answer need to representing the perimeter of a rectangle. If the width is already W and the length is 7 centimeters more than twice the width. So whenever I notice, whenever I see my translation word, which is operation words, like more than, less than, multiply, then that's the phrase, that tiny little bit of phrase is what I need to translate for my items. So who is more than who? The width is more than the width. So I'm comparing between length and the width. Now, since this problem already told me the width is going to be a W, which makes sense, right? Because width is listed at the end, so we will assume width is to be X. So rather than using X, they want me to use W. So let's go back and translate for length. Length it's like length equal. When I see 7, I write 7. When I see more than, I write plus. When I see twice, I write 2 times. 2 times who? The width, which is W. All right, so this is just translating for your 2 items. Now, how do I write my equation out? Or how do I write my expression out? Well, my expression needs to representing perimeter of a rectangle. As you can recall, perimeter of a rectangle is P equal to 2L plus 2W. So if the problem will tell me what perimeter is, what P is, then I actually end up with an equation. Since I don't know what P is, I'm just going to use the right side, which is 2L plus 2W. All right, so length is 7 plus 2W. This 2 come with the formula, so that 2 got to be there. All right, times L. So I translate L to be 7 plus 2W. This is 2 terms representing one thing I'm translating, so we always put them in the parenthesis. Plus 2 times. All right, this W is, width is only one term for one item, so I do not need a parenthesis. I only need a parenthesis whenever I'm substituting 2 terms for one item. Okay, I put them in a parenthesis. All right, so that will be my answer for my translation to representing perimeter of a rectangle. All right, so in this lecture video, we looked at these translation words and use these translation words to write out our algebraic expression. All right. So in the next video, we will take a look at how we can use those translation to solve number problems. All right. That will conclude this lecture video. Thank you for watching.